Hi and welcome to this video on Marvel Rifles. This video is solely covering the 3 support problem, or triple support, or whatever you want to call it, because it is a very big pandemic, for lack of a better word, because it's infecting even quick play nowadays. Now, I will not be suggesting fixes that typical people have been suggesting, like more more anti-heal. Anti-heal is not a good fix because then that makes it where you want more triple support. Because if you think about it, what makes people want to do triple support? It is the ease of healing, because if you have triple support, there's only 6 people per team. One person can look at one person, and so on and so forth. You don't have to worry about spamming your noodle stream and healing everyone. You can just focus on one person, the other person focus on another, and so on and so on. Or you can combine your healing effects to just guarantee your tank is back up. Anti-heal makes it where you would want triple support even more. Even if you buff DPS, you would make triple support even more important because DPSs can kill even faster, so you would need even more triple support. Nerfing supports would have the same problem because it's the ease of use. Now, with all of that, I do suggest having incentives to not play triple support or even triple DPS or even one tank. Have a system very similar to the team ups. Sorry about that, Herbert. The team ups could easily, or the amount team up. I don't know how to phrase or how to really do it technically, but have it where like 2 supports or 1 support. You should never go 1 support, but 2 supports or 1 support gives you a overall team wide buff where getting an assist or a kill gives you a rapidly decaying 50%, or not 50%, 50 HP buff where you just boom have 50 HP extra that rapidly decays, which could come in handy, and it's not to keep you, it's to keep you in the fight and keep you going, not a guaranteed heal, if that makes any sense. Whereas that boost and you keep going and it's on assist, so even supports can get it. Say for an example, you're rocking double support, you don't have somebody to cover your own ass as your support, and somebody dives you, like a daredevil, out of absolute nowhere. You're spraying as Jeff, and you get an assist. So you have that extra bump, so one of his hits don't actually just destroy your health bar, just a little bit of a destruction, and a general thing to keep you in the fight just a little bit longer. Don't know how it could work for DPS or tank because it cannot be a speed buff. Because if it was a speed buff, characters like Wolverine, Spider Man, Venom, uh, Daredevil would just be busted because they can get in, even if it is a simple like 5% speed buff. Pair that with Jeff Bubble, Storm Speed Boost, it would not be good. It would be fucking busted. You would get in there as soon as you want to be there and destroy the entire team. Like, imagine any control map. It's relatively even, 50-50, and good spread out of everything, like it's mirrored. The entire map's mirrored. And say one team has speed boost, one team doesn't. That team with the speed boost will get to point guaranteed faster, will destroy the enemy team possibly faster, depending on the characters, because speed boost means you are harder to hit because you're able to move a little bit better, even side to side, all sorts. It cannot be a damage buff, because imagine Hawkeye, Widow, any character with a damage buff because of how this game is fine-tuned when it comes to damage values. Even Spider-Man. Spider-Man with a little bit of a damage buff is just more of a menace, because Spider-Man is a menace if it's a good Spider-Man. Bad Spider-Man, not really. You can just look at him wrong and they kind of buzz off. But a good Spider-Man, oh, he's everywhere you don't want him to be. Uh, and all these different things. It cannot be a simple like buff. It has to be something that changes fundamentally what you're bringing to the table. Like 2 supports giving that bonus health. Don't know what DPS or tank could give, but something to incentivize, not outright nerfing or buffing triple support or changing it overall, but incentivizing less supports and more team composition. Because imagine what I suggested with supports. You have a Jeff and an Invis, because Invis can shoot through multiple and can damage multiple. Jeff can do the same thing. You're getting dived, you're constantly getting health because you're able to shoot through the entire team, damaging people, getting assists from that, so on and so on, so you can survive a dive a little bit better. Your DPSs, Hawkeye getting that same thing, and other like close range characters like Wolverine. you're able to get the assists a little bit easier if you have team composition and focusing on the same characters. And I don't mean team composition in who you're picking, in who you're playing with. Because Wolverine's kidnap is good, but it's even better if you have one extra person shooting the person you kidnap. Just one. And it's absolutely terrifying. And so on, where it's about the teamwork, not the necessarily team composition, but the teamwork, how you work together. Like, for an example, I main Jeff. I love Jeff, and I have played the other sports. I do genuinely enjoy other sports, but Jeff, his kit has the most bang for my buck, for lack of a better word. Because Jeff can shoot through multiple, can heal his allies, can damage his opponents very easily, guarantee both. Sure, it's not the best healing per second, but it's still something on top of the ability to grant that buff, which is a speed buff, and also extra healing on top of extra healing. Because, say for an example, I pop the bubble on a tank. Me and my other support are trying to heal that tank from popping like a zip. That's more doable, guaranteed. And it's on a way faster cooldown than, say, a Loki lamp, whatever have you. So it's basically a guarantee whenever I need it, you are not dying. Pair that with any Jeff team-up that heals, like the Venom one or the Deadpool one, and then you're basically immortal. The shit you can do with Jeff is amazing, with his ability just kind of saying no to taking damage. Because, like, Black Panther is an amazing counter to Jeff, but not to kill Jeff, to kind of get him to scurry off, if they're a good Jeff. If you have any, like, idea that you're about to get dove by a BP, or Black Panther, pop a bubble, and just nope. Because the healing per second from dive, plus the bubble, makes it where the Black Panther cannot easily, can still technically if it's an instant wombo combo, but if there is a second before or after each individual hit, or not even a second, like 0.5 of a second, you will survive with like 1 HP if you're lucky. I have done it, and I know how I've pissed off some not Daredevils, some Black Panthers so much because of that. Because all I did was panic, go. I spammed the button accidentally. Panic, go, and I'm gone. Sure, I'm still here getting hit, but I'm not dying to them, which pisses them off because their entire goal with their character is to get in, get out, get a kill, get out. And that is also another thing when you consider balancing a game like this, the goal of the character. Like, say for an example, Daredevil. Daredevil is very annoying, in my personal opinion, for one reason and one reason only. The thing that makes his kit so good. His wall hack capability. There you go. That ability to be able to see enemies through walls. Sure, you cannot ping them through walls, which is fully understandable. But if you have a mic and you're talking to your team, you're able to say they have a Jeff, a Luna, and whatever else they have, and you can coordinate they're in the back line or up on high ground or wherever they are, and guarantee you have collapsing on that one target, and all sorts of things without even them being able to see you. Which is why my only real ban in comp is Daredevil, because of his overall team composition and what he can do, not what he does. Because typical Daredevils don't give a shit. They're going to run in and beat some ass, and that is a good way to do it. And they're still going to do it with what I suggested, just a little bit more teamwork oriented. Sorry about this one.
I can feel them.
And different things like that. It's what the character can do, what each individual piece of the kit can do versus what they typically do. Like, for an example, with the I don't really care about the drama with the 40k tournament, but Black Widow is not a throw pick if you're good with her. And I do want to point this out. Where is Black Widow? Because I do want to point out, I am just blind.
Oh, pick me, please.
There she is. I do want to point out something. Her kit is not bad. It just depends on how you do it. Because headshots can do a whole lot of damage per shot. Because like that, boom, one extra follow-up and they're dead. Guaranteed instant kill, basically, if you have the team composition. Even body shots really aren't bad. Because that's half health on this dude, which has around 250, I want to say. I think it's 250. and you're able to guarantee a whole lot of damage.
Widow's
Sure, it's not like
lethal.
Hawkeye, which is a guaranteed one-shot basically, but it's still a whole lot of damage on target when you want it there. But you have to be able to hit your shots and work together. And some team compositions, like in any game ever when it comes to hero shooters, just
Target
don't work.
neutralized.
And you're going to get your opponents and having all that in consideration. But Black Widow is not a bad pick. It's just, can you hit your shots and can you work together? Because if you're focusing on the right targets, you can do some serious damage in unison with your team. And with all that said, you cannot easily pick a buff or a nerf when it comes to triple support, which is the entire goal of this entire video, because there is no easy pick. There is no easy guarantee,
Spicy
because you
bad
have to
guys.
have more open-ended, for lack of a better word, reasons, more open-ended possibilities, because just outright nerfing the capabilities of supports makes it where you would want triple supports more. In any way, shape, or form, more damage for DPSs, more anti-heal, because then you want even more supports. You would want stuff that incentivizes less supports, not more supports.
The Widow's bite is lethal.
And I just wanted to show off that, because sure, it's not the fastest kill, but it's a Team Croft of Battler. If you're shooting the tank, somebody else most definitely is too. And that's not even headshots.
Double KO!
Another one bites the dust.
This video is relatively short for my typical video, but there's really not much I can really say. Just I've seen a lot of videos saying give more anti-heal, give more damage, make supports
Bogies, here
less
they come.
potent, all these different things, and none of them really hit the nail on the head, because all of those will just incentivize more supports, will incentivize triple supports, will incentivize different things that will make a bigger problem. Give it a solution that does not incentivize a bigger problem, like the giving a buff for less supports, where you have 2 or 1. You should never go 1, but if you have 1, making that 2 buff even better, where instead of like 50 HP overshield that decays rapidly, have it as 100 HP overshield that decays rapidly, which will basically make it where your job as the solo support isn't as spray and pray, healing everyone and panicking, where you could guarantee, like, kind of let your DPSs do their thing and they will constantly heal themselves, relatively speaking, and so on and so on. Like, something that changes it up, shakes it up, instead of adding or subtracting. Shake it up, make it a little bit better or worse depending on
Bogies,
your
here they
comp,
come.
but not in a bad way. Because there should never be pros, or never should be cons to having more or less of something. There should always be pros to having more or less of something. Because technically, thinking about it, having triple support, you won't have the overhealth, but you will still have the triple support, which that in and of itself is pretty potent. And what I'm saying is not an end-all, be-all, just something like that. Something to have an incentive to have less supports and possibly have a 2-2-2. Like, if you can think in that general way as a community around this entire game, there could be some cool thoughts or some cool ideas in the general mind space. And that's what I'm trying to bring to the table. I'm not saying this is the best idea, this is the best change. Just think about what the characters can do. Think about what they should do. Think about how you can balance each character together in one soup, where it's like a soup, or a good goulash, I think is the best way to put it, where it's still
Bogies, here
soupy,
they
it's
come.
all together in one paste or goop, but there's meats, there's onions, there's all sorts of different broths. You can add all sorts of different things to this goulash, and it's still goulash. But if you add, say, peppermint to this goulash, that ain't good. Now, peppermint could be anything at all, but that's not really gonna taste good. That general thing. Figure out ways to add things that are in that savory sense, that savory, a little bit salty, that food texture that you're wanting to have, that food flavor that you're wanting to have, and go from there. With all that said, I hope this gives you some cool ideas for what you could think of, because it is a community game. Everyone's meant to have some impact on what the game can do, what the game will be, that general thing, which is why there's polls for different characters that could come out. Now, please think of cool things with this, and if you have any ideas, please comment down below, because I would love to have a back and forth, because
Spicy
I
bad
am only one
guys.
person. I cannot think of every idea under the sun when it comes to this. So please, just back and forth with me. I'm not saying that so I can have some engagement, I think is the right word. Yeah, because I don't care about that. I don't care if you subscribe, if you like. I don't care about that. I make videos so you can get to know me. If you want to do that, be my guest. That is not what I want you to do. So enjoy my stuff. You don't have to elevate me, if that makes any sense. Now, have a good rest of y'all's day, and I'll catch you on the next one.